So, this happened a few months ago, and even now, people in my town still bring it up. I'm the chief of police in a mid-sized city. I've worked my way up from patrol officer to detective to chief over nearly 25 years. I'm not flashy, I don't show off, but I do love my cars. My weekend treasure is a deep red 1969 Mustang Fastback, restored with my own two hands over the course of 6 years. It's my pride, my stress reliever, my therapy. Now, my neighborhood has one of those wannabe HOAs, a few people who take themselves way too seriously. Chief among them is, of course, Karen. Mid-50s, loud, convinced that the sun rises and sets at her command. She's not on the city payroll, but she acts like she's in charge of everything from lawn height to mailbox color. She's also got a son, Kyle, who's 22, unemployed, and thinks he's the second coming of Vin Diesel. For months, Kyle had been drooling over my Mustang. Every time I'd wash it, he'd stroll by with some comment like, "Man, you should let someone who actually drives fast handle that thing." I'd just laugh it off and tell him I prefer to keep it in one piece. Then came the day things escalated, and oh boy did they. I had taken a Friday off work to do some detailing on the Mustang. The garage door was open, the radio was playing, and I was polishing the chrome when Karen herself strutted over. "Karen, Chief, we need to talk about your car."
What about it?
"Karen, it's too loud. It disturbs the peace of the community. Kyle's been saying it shakes his window when you start it up." Me, smiling. "Karen, the car's from 1969. It doesn't have a whisper mode. Besides, the decibel level is perfectly legal, I've checked." That should have been the end of it. But Karen doesn't take no very well. She huffed, muttered something about entitled people, oh the irony, and stormed off. A few hours later, I went inside to grab lunch. When I came back out, my Mustang was gone. I froze. My garage door was still open, but the car was gone.
Security cameras? Oh, you bet I have them.
I checked my phone, pulled up the feed, and there it was. Kyle in broad daylight, walking up, jumping in the Mustang, hot wiring it like he'd seen in a movie, and driving off. I called dispatch and told them to put out an alert for a stolen red 1969 Mustang, license plate registered to the chief of police. Within 5 minutes, I got a call back from one of my sergeants.
Chief, you're not gonna believe this.
They'd found the car 2 blocks away, parked crookedly across a stop sign, engine still running, and Kyle sitting on the curb with a smug grin.
And next to him, Karen,
screaming at my officers that they had no authority to arrest her son because he was reclaiming neighborhood property. Apparently, she told Kyle that since the HOA controls the neighborhood's aesthetic, my Mustang belonged to the community and was being misused. I drove over myself. When I arrived, she actually looked me dead in the eye and said, "You can't arrest my son, you work for me." I had to laugh. "Actually, ma'am, I work for the city, and you and your son just committed grand theft auto." "Karen, you wouldn't dare. We'll have your badge for this." Me, "Ma'am, you just called 911 to report a stolen vehicle, the one your son stole from me."
She blinked. Then she went pale.
Turns out she had called the cops before I got there, to report that I had threatened her son when he tried to inspect the car. The dispatcher on duty already knew the vehicle belonged to me, so the report had raised red flags instantly. At that point, I didn't even need to say anything. My officers arrested Kyle for vehicle theft, reckless driving and property damage, because he'd already scratched the bumper trying to drift out of the driveway. Karen kept screaming about abuse of power and favoritism. I just told her calmly, "If you think this is favoritism, ma'am, you're free to file a complaint."
At the station.
A few weeks later, the DA filed charges. Kyle took a plea deal, probation and community service. Karen tried to sue the department for harassment, but the case was thrown out faster than you can say entitlement.
The cherry on top?
The fake HOA she ran got investigated for fraudulent activity, unregistered fees, bogus rules and harassment complaints. It was dissolved by the city council within a month. Now, every time I